In the previous class, I told you that we would continue with imperative today. So first of all, I would like to ask you, how can we identify and make an imperative action, express an imperative action in English? Can you tell me? That's right. So by using a verb, we can express imperative. And what about to make the negative imperative? That's very good. So by using the form don't or do not, we can express the negative imperative. So there is a homework assignment I gave you, and you had to look up the equivalent to the 4 proverbs that we worked on the previous class. The proverbs are: let sleeping dogs lie, spare the rod and spoil the child, don't count your chickens before they are hatched, and don't bite the hand that feeds you. So come on, tell me. I would like to hear several students with the equivalent that you found. Come on. What about proverb number 1? Good. Number 2? All right. What about number 3? And number 4? That's okay. Now, there is a second part of this homework assignment. I also told you that I want you to observe if the imperative was maintained in each of the proverbs, in your language. Is it? That's very good. So the imperative, the structure of the imperative is not present in each of the proverbs in your language. All right, that's very good. So I would like to go back because in the previous class we worked on some pictures, and I'm going to choose a couple of them. For example, the one, this one, in which some cars are stopping at the red light. And let's remember what you did. Can you make an imperative action in relation to this picture? Good. So in this case, for example, we could tell the car or the driver, stop here. And this other picture in which a man is smoking in a restaurant, yes, we could tell him, don't smoke here, or don't smoke here, please. All right, so concerning the uses of the imperative, I said that imperative can be used to express a prohibition, an invitation, an instruction, a piece of advice, or a warning, and a command or an order. About this, I have an activity here in which you will change some sentences in direct speech to indirect speech, to reported speech, by using the verbs tell, ask, and warn to report orders and instructions. Let me tell you that in doing this, you will have to use this pattern: subject plus verb plus object plus to infinitive. And in case of negative sentences, you will have to use the particle not before the particle to. So the sentences are: number 1, the teacher said, stop running in the corridor. In the case of reported speech, you will say, and let me complete this sentence myself, the teacher ordered us to stop running. So sentence number 2, put your books away, children, said Mr. Park. In reported speech, Mr. Park told the children, and then you will complete. Number 3, Dad said to David, please help me by washing the dishes. In reported speech, Dad asked David, and then you will complete. And number 4, Miss Lee said to Alan, don't be late again tomorrow. And in reported speech, Miss Lee warned Alan, and then you will complete. So, I'm going to give you some time to complete the activity. Okay, let me hear you. Number 2, Mr. Park told the children to keep their books away. Very good. What about number 3? Dad asked David to help him by washing the dishes. And what about number 4? Miss Lee warned Alan not to be late again. Okay, now we are going to use also 2 reporting verbs like want and tell in answering these 2 questions. Number 1, what does Jane want Mike to tell her? And number 2, what does Mike tell her? These 2 questions you will answer in paragraph form about this dialogue. And let me read the dialogue. Excuse me, can you tell me the way to the museum? It's this way. Go straight ahead at the traffic lights, turn right, go along the street, walk past the park, and keep going straight until you see the sign for the museum. Great. Thanks for your help. You're welcome. Okay, come on. I'm going to give you some time for you to answer these 2 questions. Remember, you have to do it in paragraph form. And be careful with the use with the pattern of the verbs want and tell, which are 2 reporting verbs. The pattern that I gave you in the case of in the previous activity. Okay. Now, we are going to use a map. You are going to do a per word. You are going to use this map here. So I will give each pair a specific location on the map where you are supposed to be imaginarily, and another point of the map where you imaginarily are going to go. So, for example, 2 of you are at the restaurant on the map, and 1 of you wants to go to the florist. So the dialogue will be something like this. Excuse me, sir, or excuse me, ma'am. Could you tell me the way to the florist? Sure, that way. Go straight ahead for 1 block, turn left on West Street, go along the street, turn left at the traffic lights. The florist is next to the bank. Thank you. Don't mention it. So, I will give you some time for you to do this task. And finally, I am going to give you will do something which is very interesting and very challenging. This is an information gap activity. I will give, not everybody, but I will give some students a card, a numbered card. For example, I will give you a card with number 1, and I will give you a card which will be number 2. But the one card, for example, number 1, will not be sitting next to number 2 because you will not know, number 1, what number 2 will have. So when I call out the numbers, you will come in front of the class and you will act out the situation. Here is an example. For example, in card 1, this is the instruction. You are at the playground, someone runs into you and tells you something. And card number 2, this is the instruction. You need to go to the fish market. you are from out of town, ask a local. So let me tell you that this is not going to be about the map. This is going to be about your town, about your city. All right? So this is a very important communicative activity because by using this activity, besides imperative, you are going to use some prepositions of place, some expressions of politeness, such as excuse me, could you tell me, thank you, as well as some pragmatics related items like the forms of address, sir, madam, ma'am, and introducing Ms. in contrast to Miss and Mrs. Likewise, this task will enable me as a teacher to introduce some places related vocabulary, for instance, town hall, playground, square, post office, greengrocers, grocery store, ice cream parlor, and so forth. So let me give you some time. Did you like what you do? The rest of the class, the ones who did not do the activity, could you refer to what they did? Something wrong, something right, something worthy of mentioning? Okay, this is all for today. Thank you.